Good evening, guys, and welcome back on the second episode. Thank you for showing the love on the first episode, and I hope you keep us supporting the same way. Coming on to today's episode, coming on to today's episode, we have a true example of hashtag women empowerment. Hashtag a self-made woman, a girl who have achieved what she wanted, what she desired, and she received this support not only from his mother and father but also from her in-laws very well. So let me introduce her. She is Nandini. Hi Nandini. Hi Nandini.
Hi guys, hi Kaushal. Can you
Hi,
hear
how are
me?
you, Nandini? We are here live with Nandini, who is homemaker by choice, a psychologist by her profession, a chronic and palliative care counselor, and co-founder of Palex Healthcare. So, welcome back, Nandini. It was nice meeting you today here. I just
Yes,
want to
always a
ask
pleasure.
you let me start with the simple thing that as psychologist is a very odd choice for a career. We have not seen many of them opting for this as a career. So how do you choose this, and how do you came up that yes, let me be a psychologist as a career? So can you just highlight on this point?
So basically, I wanted to be a journalist. I didn't know that psychologist as a career existed at all. And I
Okay.
was interested in literature. I wanted to be an investigative journalist. After 10th, I joined arts because I wanted to pursue literature.
Oh.
And and I joined Ruparel College. Everyone knows
Okay.
who is a Mumbaiker. So
Yeah.
there, I was introduced to it as a subject. So psychology,
Okay.
we had it as one of our subjects while studying, and that college is known to be one of the better departments, best departments at that point
Okay.
in time. And I think it was kind of a connection because I was always someone who would observe whatever is going around, how people are behaving, what they are thinking. I was a good listener, so a lot
Okay.
of times people used to talk about it, talk
Yeah.
about what is going on through their minds at times.
Okay.
So when I came to psychology, it was something that felt like home to me
Okay.
because whatever I was doing, the way I was living, how I was around people, the way I liked being with people, or I was not a socialized, popular socialist as such, but
Yeah, I think
still,
some of your friends can agree on it that you were not a popular socializing person during your
yeah,
earlier
no,
days.
not at all. Not at all. In school, so I was probably one of those people who was in the background watching all the fun happening. So, anyway, so when I was formally introduced to the subject, that is when I realized that whatever I was thinking or the way I was processing certain things, those things are coming together, and this subject is actually an extension of that at all.
Okay.
So it was something that kind of I started pursuing it through my academics, and I realized that this is what I want to do. So through college, slowly ended up taking psychology, philosophy, and statistics as my topic, as my,
Okay.
and then ended up majoring in psychology from
o-
Ruparel.
Okay.
But it was very odd because none of us really knew where this was leading.
Yeah.
My entire family is full of engineers, so people had thought either she'll become an engineer or maybe she'll become a doctor because I don't know, for some reason they thought I was a healer, and I didn't believe that myself at that point in time. But down the line, I realized that yes, psychology is something that really helped me help myself, as well as it was a good way of helping other people or supporting other people become happier and lead better lives. So that is why I decided that I'll take up psychology. Honestly, my parents are both engineers and they had
Oh.
no clue about what is going to happen with this girl and what kind of thing she'll pursue later. but they kept faith in me. They knew
Correct.
that if she says she likes this and she's good at this, and they could see that, so they supported me.
Correct.
It was a complete leap of faith for them, I believe, but they did. And then by the time I finished my BA in psychology, I was pretty clear that I wanted to work in healthcare because I had
Okay.
helped
Okay.
out a few friends and worked in a little bit of corporate
Okay.
training and assisted my father in some of his work. So I knew I was good at training, but at the same time, I knew that the satisfaction I got while working with patients was much more. For
Correct.
example, in masters, we had a rotation in all different government hospitals across Mumbai,
Okay.
and I realized that that is what I really liked, despite of all the odd experiences, or there were a lot of new things that came to me. I was in posted in KEM. I was posted in the Thana Regional Mental Hospital,
Okay.
and it was not all fun and games. We had a lot of homework to do. We had to go and see, okay, if this patient is behaving like this, what does that really mean? And there was so much open to translation and interpretation.
Correct.
But that was a challenge I somehow felt was
Okay. Okay.
really
Okay.
my
Uh,
own.
just to stop you and just to ask you, because I just it just clicked in my mind that as your parents, both parents were engineer, and if you're comfortable with, may I know what was your percentage range, and when you selected arts, how much shocked were your parents when you selected in the arts, or your family? Because I think being a shy girl during the school days, you must be scoring high marks, and then taking arts, that is another a brave choice. So what has came through that?
Yeah, so in school, yes, I was one of the top three all the time, and so my marks in 10th were also in that range. But at the same time, I was very clear that I wanted to either pursue literature because science was not an option for me. I used to get very bored. I enjoyed
Oh.
physics, but chemistry, I wasn't very happy with, and I was not even good at it. So, and literature, my love for literature basically drew me towards arts. I was very good at art, as in drawing and stuff. So my parents actually were prepared that maybe she'll go into JJ School of Arts and become a commercial artist. They were prepared for that. They they knew my love for literature, so they were not immensely shocked. But the other people around me were more shocked because
Yeah.
everybody gets very low mark. Whoever gets low marks, whoever cannot get into
Join
science
arts.
goes into commerce. Doesn't get into commerce also goes into arts. That was the
Art,
trend at
yes,
that
yes.
point in time.
And still
So
it is the same. Still it is the same. Let me tell you, still it is the same. Anyone taking arts as an option, everyone thinks कि इसको percentage ही कम आया होगा and
हाँ,
scope नहीं होगा, he would have taken arts. But all the audience just remember कि यहाँ पे हमारे पास एक live example है जो arts लेके भी successful हो सकता है, and we have a good career choice in arts also. Yes, go ahead, Andheri.
definitely. So in fact, one funny kissa is that when I went to a certain college and there were three counters, arts, science, commerce, and I went to the arts counter for my to get the application, and they were like, "Arey, but you've got good marks. Go take science form. I will not give you arts form." I was like, "No, but I want arts." And it was very funny because the
Yeah,
person who was
actually
sitting
funny.
there to give the arts application was trying to dissuade me. But ultimately, I think it's more about your choice. You need to find
Yeah,
what resonates with you and what you want to do, because there are plenty of good options in arts also. In fact, some options you have to take up arts in order to pursue them.
correct,
So
correct.
doing that homework a little bit early helps. And sometimes there are surprises. I mean, I went there for literature and ended up being a psychologist. So
Psychologist.
it's not exactly a completely planned thing.
Correct, correct,
But
correct.
yes, that happens. And so a lot of other people were shocked, and for a while people were watching कि exactly करने क्या वाली है, and what are they going to do, and what kind of a job will you get.
Correct.
how, so everybody is very keen on us becoming financially independent. So how does that help you? A lot of people used to ask me out of curiosity, कि इसमें जॉब किधर मिलता है? So
Okay.
एनजीओ में मिल सकता है, हॉस्पिटल में मिल सकता है, किसी क्लिनिक में मिल सकता है, स्कूल में मिल सकता है. So slowly I had to, I guess, educate people and inform people that this is also a choice and it has so many applications.
Okay.
Fortunately, around that time, I think schools started making counseling a compulsory thing. So that kind of started slowly and people were more aware. But yes, it took time. And even today, it's not a very, people are not really aware about mental health issues and what kind of support is available.
Correct. As also one more thing which you said, just to ask that, see, many people are not aware about psychology, right? And those even who know, जिसको पता भी है ना, वो क्या करते हैं, साइकोलॉजी एंड साइकाइट्रिस्ट, ये दोनों चीज में कंफ्यूज भी हो जाता है. सो आई थिंक, see, when not in nowadays but in earlier days when I used to hear कि भाई इसने साइकोलॉजी किया हुआ है, I used to get confused between these two कि भाई ये दोनों में फर्क क्या है. So you being in this profession, can you just highlight कि what is the dilemma, मतलब how we can understand कि दोनों में फर्क क्या है?
Yeah, so साइकियाट्रिस्ट और साइकोलॉजिस्ट काम तो एक ही फील्ड में कर रहे हैं, मेंटल हेल्थ के लिए कर रहे हैं. जो दोनों का क्वालिफिकेशन अलग है. तो साइकियाट्रिस्ट जो होता है, उन्होंने एमबीबीएस करके, सो दे आर क्वालिफाइड एमबीबीएस डॉक्टर्स, and then they have started, they have taken MD or postgraduate diploma in psychiatry, and then they are working on the same population of patients basically, and they are trying to help them, help people rehabilitate into as normal lives as possible. The difference is they can prescribe medication for the kind of behavior, disruptive behavior or things like that. So अगर किसी को डिप्रेशन है और इतना ज्यादा है कि साइकोथेरेपी एज इन उनसे बात करने से वो भी जमने नहीं वाला है, तो उनको एंटी डिप्रेसेंट्स की अगर जरूरत है, तो साइकोलॉजिस्ट जो होता है वो एंटी डिप्रेसेंट प्रिस्क्राइब नहीं कर सकता, साइकियाट्रिस्ट कर सकता है. ही इज अ डॉक्टर हु इज ट्रेन्ड इन फार्मेकोलॉजी एज वेल. A psychologist does her BA or BSc in psychology. आगे जाके clinical psychology करते हैं. It is one of the specializations. So to come, which is closest to psychiatrist is clinical psychology. And फिर we help majorly in testing and diagnostics of patients, and then psychotherapy. And of course, psychotherapy is again something that both the professions train in. And then some psychiatrists also train themselves. They take the efforts to go ahead and train themselves in psychotherapy. And then psychotherapy sessions are taken with patients to walk through their issues.
Okay. So, see, psychiatrists, they do MBBS. I think means they take science and you take arts. Generally, ये और एक confusion होता है कि भाई science difficult है, आर्ट्स सिंपल है. तो साइंस में गए साइकाइट्रिस्ट बनना डिफिकल्ट होगा, या आर्ट्स लिया तो साइकोलॉजी स्टडी बहुत सिंपल होगा. तो हैव यू फेस्ड एनी स्पेशल चैलेंज, ऐसा कुछ आपने फेस किया है कि भाई ये इतना डिफिकल्ट है या ये सिंपल है पढ़ना? हाउ हैव यू टेकन केयर ऑफ योर स्टडीज एंड ऑल्सो व्हाइल प्रैक्टिस, हाउ यू हैव मैनेज्ड दैट? कैन यू ऑल्सो टेक अप दैट क्वेश्चन?
Yeah, so to begin with, I'll start with the studies part. It is very, yes, arts and science, they have a very different schedule, because science will have all the lab work, and they have at least at my time, people had classes all the time. So it was very hectic to be in science. While arts, people did not have to go to classes and all the time. लोग इंटरेस्ट से लेते थे, लोगों को दिखता था कि ये मजे कर रहे हैं. But our subjects are different. The way we study these things, our topics are different. So, and relatively, psychology is considered to be the medical part of arts, because we end up working with patients and rehabilitating them and everything. अभी पढ़ाई कितनी डिफिकल्ट या इजी है वो तुम कितना डीपली उसमें जंप मारते हो उस पर भी है. So if you have,
Correct. Yeah.
I was
Agree.
always a studious student. So I spent a lot of time in the library. I spent a lot of time reading outside the reference books and everything. And so whatever came to us, the first advantage of being in arts was there were no guidelines कि बाबा बहुत सारा guides अपना जो रहता था ना स्कूल में कि we had a digest which gave us answers to all the questions. So we didn't have that. So we had to go look for our own answers. And that was a journey that helped us expose ourselves to a lot of information, which maybe if we were given a ready-made answer book, we would not have. So मेहनत तो थी, but we enjoyed it because we were taking interest in doing it at our own accord. तो ऐसा कुछ ये नहीं था. Lab work था हमको psychology में. So psychology had lab work. We designed experiments. We had our younger students coming in to be human subjects for experiments. Then we analyzed the reports. We checked whether old research was in line with the report, not in line. Did we find something new? And so then we had to write reports. I mean, I remember since my BA final year, when the lab work started full on, no weekend I got off. Friday को हमारा Saturday को हमारा discussion होता था पूरे क्लास के lab results का, और जो घर पे जाके बैठते थे, by the time we finished our reports which were due on Monday morning 7 o'clock, it was like 12 in the night at Sunday. So we got no weekends off during that year. And so it was hectic in its own way, but again, as I said, it depends on how deeply you decide to dive into it. So that's something I would say for anybody.
Anybody, yes. मतलब see, कोई भी प्रोफेशन में कुछ भी पढ़ना है तो I think nothing is easy, or I can say कि nothing is hard.
Exactly.
मतलब if you have to do that means you have to do that. उसमें hard और easy तो हमें कुछ इसमें कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. And just to take in a lighter note, मतलब psychologist is a science of arts. So मतलब बाकी आर्ट से मतलब शायद आपकी इनकम भी ज्यादा ही होगी. Just to ask in a lighter note.
Not necessarily, because there are other professions like economists. So economists can go and work with financial firms. So they have a scope. Psychology में भी आप कौन सी psychology में specialize कर रहे हो? Industrial में जा रहे हो तो you are working in corporate firms where your salary is at par to MBA students and those kind of things. So no, psychology, at least clinical psychology and counseling, does not really have a very high range. But again, I believe it depends on what you make of it. It depends on what you bring to the table, how good you are at your subject, and B, it also depends on the opportunities you take up. So I was one of the lucky ones who got good opportunities, and I adapted to a very different field down the line, which helped me. But not everyone will be, very well off. And there will be other people who are like, even translation, Marathi, Hindi languages leke koi kar raha hai. Translation pays off very well. So even if it is in the sense of the science or medical of arts, not necessarily converts into good financial.
Correct. Again, taking forward my previous question, that definitely समझो studies तो difficulty रही होगी. How did you started practicing? आपके practicing के initial days में आपने क्या issue face किया, या ऐसा कोई incident जो आपको एकदम यादगार रह गया होगा आपके practice के time पे? Can you share on it?
So I basically started practicing almost like after masters. I joined a firm, a small firm.
Practicing means I actually I'm asking that from your articleship days, what we say that training days, from your training days to practicing.
So yes, training. I'll start from my rotation days. I mean, I have for the first time I saw ECT or electric therapy, shock therapy जो कहा जाता है in common words, वो मैंने witness की थी. तो for me as a student it was very new. And I was like, oh my God, what are we doing? But at the same time, after speaking to the psychiatrists in that hospital and discussing those cases with them, I realized the therapeutic side of it and how it helps and what are the trade-offs in the side effects as well as the जो फायदा होता है उसमें. I have had working with the psychiatric ward. I have had like patients getting aggressive. In fact, I believe I was once attacked also by a patient. But instead of scaring for some reason, एक तो थोड़ा I think डर लगने का tendency कम है यहाँ पे. तो instead of getting scared, I felt that oh my God, I realized कि oh my God, this person needs help. Imagine living a life which is very different from reality, very removed from reality, but you are still living in the real world. ये कितना difficult है एक इंसान के लिए, तो वो मुझे तभी बहुत एकदम strike हुआ, and then I realized the responsibility I needed to take up with this profession, and it kind of helped me be more determined to work in psychology and become a clinical psychologist. Down the line, I worked with a few corporate stints in the earlier days, but later I shifted to palliative care, which was a very niche field. And in palliative care, again, it is something that is not very well known. So I had double challenge that mental health में काम करने वाले और mental health issues on what support is available, ये चीजों के बारे में awareness कम है public में. People are not aware that this kind of help is available. Even if some are aware, they may be skeptical, they may be afraid of how to seek it, what will other people think. There is a stigma around it. And uske aage jaake, the double thing was palliative care, which basically deals with end of life care. And जहाँ पे patients को कहा जाता है कि हम अभी क्योरेटिवली मतलब ठीक करने के लिए कुछ कर नहीं सकते हैं, अभी घर पे लेके जाके एंजॉय करो दिन लास्ट के, उनकी देखभाल करो. And family is clueless. So that is where the palliative care kind of comes in. And that is also a field which lacks awareness in the public. लोगों को पता नहीं है कि ऐसी फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल है, कि जब हम कहते हैं कि इन्हें दवा की नहीं दुआ की जरूरत है, मगर दुआ के साथ जो भी तकलीफ हो रही है वो तो हम दवाई, उस पर तो दवाई और इलाज थोड़ा बहुत कर सकते हैं, मलहम पट्टी तो लगा सकते हैं. तो ये कोशिश पैलिएटिव केयर के थ्रू होने लगी. सो फॉर मी इन माय ओन करियर पाथ, awareness about the work I am doing was one of the biggest challenges. Okay. And there are now, we have like the community of psychologists as well as palliative care specialists are working on that.
Correct.
Trying to create awareness.
Yeah. Again, before moving ahead, those who are joining right now, let me again tell you that we have Nandini live, who is a specialist and counselor for chronic and palliative care. If anyone has any question, please write on the comment section and we'll make sure that Nandini gives the answer and we can make out from his time what she has given to us. So please, if there is any question for chronic and palliative care, then please ask. And anything related to the psychology also, Nandini is ready to help all of you today.
As much as I can, although my specialty is a certain thing.
As much as
but I would really like to take this chance to address any queries that you guys have.
Yeah. Nandini, so moving on to the next question, that see, this is chronic and palliative care. See, it is still, for our layman, it is still a huge word. So just can you shed some light ki what is this actually chronic and palliative care?
Yes, definitely. So I'll just first explain the meaning of the two words. Chronic is something that is long standing. Somebody who is ill for a very long time. I'm sure everybody must have known someone or the other who had a stroke and was paralyzed and was bedridden for years together. Or somebody who is just old. हमारे घर में दादा दादी नाना नानी होते हैं, who is old and who needs support for a long time. We cannot leave them alone. They need support to go to the washroom. We have to ensure that they take their medicines on time. Something that is long standing. So it doesn't get cured very quickly. It's more than 3 months, more than 6 months. That is chronic. So even diabetes for that reason. Diabetes एक बार हो जाता है तो ठीक होना बहुत difficult. Cure नहीं होता है, but we learn to live with it. There are changes in our lifestyle. We start exercising, we start taking medication, we start a certain diet. So it is something that we live with. We try to learn to live with it, and it brings changes not only to the patient but also to the family, because the family is also now trying to cater to the patient's requirements. कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं कि ओके इनको मीठा खाना नहीं है तो हम भी घर में उनको सपोर्ट करेंगे, मीठा नहीं खाएंगे उनके साथ. So it's this is a very light example. So it is something that impacts the entire family. Palliative care is a step ahead. It looks at life-limiting issues where you cannot cure them, but at the same time, whatever is happening. For example, let's take a heavier example, say cancer. So there is a person who has cancer, and the doctor told that person that for some reason we cannot cure this. The treatment is not working. So staying in the hospital is not going to help you. You can go home. Now going home, the family is stumped. What do we do after going home? How long? And the patient also doesn't know. He has pain. He feels nauseous all the time. That chemotherapy has really weakened him. Now, but तो घर पे जाके करे क्या? So palliative care steps in there, and palliative care tries to address these things. So, and it's not just a medical approach. So there's not just a doctor in a palliative care team. There's a nursing support. इनको कैसे घर पे handle करना है वो सिखाया जाता है. If required, जो symptoms है, किसी को pain बहुत ज़्यादा है, so there can be pain specialists. There are pain specialist doctors, by the way, who work specifically to reduce and make pain a bearable experience for them. There are people who are dietitians who cater specifically to diets of cancer patients, who require certain things in certain different ways. किसी को नाक से नली डाली हुई है तो रोटी चावल तो नहीं खा सकते, but how to ensure proper nutrition, enough nutrition goes in through liquid form, through that tube. That is important. So there are people who cater to this. There are physiotherapists who are specifically oriented to the issues that come up in cancer. There are psychologists, counselors who work towards towards closure, towards finding peace with the family. कोई conflicts है long standing, वो resolve करने की इच्छा है. There may be people who wish to say goodbye, to forgive certain people, to want forgiveness from other people, to want people to know how they feel. They want to have those conversations. किसी का झगड़ा हो गया है, बहुत सालों से बात नहीं की है, but they want to find that closure, to find that peace before dying. At the same time, there is anticipatory grief, as in everybody knows that we are heading towards the death of this individual, this loved one, and so there are feelings they are dealing with. There is loss अभी तक हुआ नहीं है, मगर मुझे पता है कि ये होने वाला है. तो इसके बारे में भी ये भी एक स्ट्रगल है, इसके साथ जीना भी एक स्ट्रगल है. So हमारे पेशेंट नहीं, फैमिली के साथ भी इसके ऊपर काम होता है. What they are feeling, how do they plan to handle things afterwards. कोई माँ है जिसको वरी है कि बाबा मेरी बच्ची का क्या होगा, या मेरे बेटे की शादी कभी होगी, कैसे होगी, कैसे संभालेंगे. So there are certain some of it does involve working towards realistic hope and realistic goal setting, and at the same time some of it also involves planning for after death. So there is something called a living will, which is right now not a legal document thoroughly, but at somebody has written palliative care is temporary or long-term process. It works at home as well. I'll come to that, Puneet. So yes, palliative care is something that goes long term, which goes a minimum of 6 months, and rather it is till the person dies, and even post death, bereavement support is given to the family. It can be given on OPD basis, where if there is a complaint, they come to see the doctor or they come to see the counselor, dietitian, and they go home. If it cannot be managed at home, they can be admitted to a hospital, or they can be admitted to a palliative care center like Palex. And also home care is available. People who don't need to be admitted, the symptoms are not very high or very aggressive, they can be managed at home, also get addressed by a home visit of either a doctor or a nurse, or if it is required, even a counselor can go home and work out the issues at home.
Correct.
So yeah, so coming back to this, we were talking about whether
Yeah, you're talking about the palliative care now.
yeah, so palliative care works on these lines, and it's a holistic care with all different kinds of support to ultimately ensure that the quality of that person's remaining life is maintained, improved if possible, and if it cannot be improved, at least maintained at a certain level.
Correct. We have one more question. Actually, I have before going on live, I have posted on my social media account that if there is any question they can ask. So there is one question from Darshi which I have received, and she has asked that how to deal with a person who has the thanatophobia. If I'm not wrong, if I'm pronouncing right, if not,
Right.
please correct me. And first of all, what is that phobia? Let me know. And how do you deal with that? If you can take on this question.
Yeah. So I will address this briefly, because this is generally how to deal with it is generally a very customized solution
Correct.
for each person. Thanatophobia basically is an extreme fear of death. Okay.
Oh,
So phobia means something that is a very extreme anxiety or fear of a certain thing. Now, if a person is scared, first of all, whether it is really a phobia, because phobia, the level of that anxiety is very extreme. It can be a general concern, it can be general anxiety or fear, or if it is really extreme, where that person's everyday life is affected. Person cannot go to work efficiently, cannot function with family and friends efficiently, cannot do things on his own. बाहर जाने का इतना डर लग रहा है कि oh my god, what if I step out and somebody and some car hits me? इतना डर है कि मैं घर पे ही बैठा. This is just an example, but the kind of fear and the thoughts that come up in that person could be in variety of them. And so when we look at thanatophobia or any concern around death in general, we would like to say that we need to figure out what exactly he is afraid of. Somebody is afraid of dying. Somebody is afraid of being dead in general. Somebody is afraid of the process of dying. Will it be too painful?
okay.
Somebody is afraid of leaving people behind. So what is the reason behind it, and what is the trigger also? Because a lot of times what I've seen in palliative care, where we do deal with deaths more frequently, is how you witness death. If you have witnessed a very painful death, the family lives with that memory, and overall our beliefs, our thoughts around death, our fears around death, those things are based on this experience that we have observed. Because otherwise nobody knows what happens after death. तो वो थोड़ा fear of unknown भी होता है. So exactly डर किस बात का है वो find out करके then we work with that individual. And counseling generally works well with giving them a very safe place to be क्या बोलते हैं to talk about their anxieties and fears, which maybe किसी और के सामने बात करने से डरते हो.
Correct.
And then we talk about these things. I believe there is a question here about
There is a question about current situation also. I think we'll take on that question. And but
yes,
before that, I think Darshi has replied again that his father has been diagnosed with cancer. Hence, now
father has been
he is fearing death,
socializing with
and he
people.
has reduced socializing his people.
Okay. So, Darshi, I would suggest if you connect to me personally or even via this thing, Instagram, post the session sometime, and we will take that case individually, and I can maybe direct you to the right person in Mumbai itself.
Yeah,
If
yeah. Actually, Nandini is from Pune right
and
now, but
deal
I
with
think
that.
you
So
can
I'm
guide
currently
somewhere in
located in Pune, but and due to lockdown, our Mumbai appointments are not being addressed at this point in time. But I can direct you to someone who can help you from there itself.
Correct, correct,
Because what
correct,
happens is, even post lockdown, if you need one-on-one sessions, you can follow up over there.
correct, correct.
And definitely, it is very natural for your father-in-law, whatever he is going through, and we'll see how we can address that at a
Correct. Correct.
individual level.
We'll also take the question because there are too many requests for the current situation. Umesh
Yes.
has asked and Pritesh has also asked that what do you suggest for the current mental health status during this lockdown? Because someone have fear of getting the corona. Someone might say कि अरे मेरे को डर लगता है बाहर जाने को, कैसे जाऊं बाहर, मेरे को कोरोना हो गया तो मैं क्या करूं, या मतलब ऐसे सारे बहुत लोगों को सवाल होता है. So how do you what do you suggest, and how should we get on to this fear?
So it is a very understandable reaction right now. For our generation, I believe this is the first time we are facing something like this. And obviously, it is quite new. And any pandemic or any kind of a lockdown has its own implications, has its own side effects, as to say, on our mental health. So understanding now, first looking at the corona bit of it, when we look at it from the health perspective, the government guidelines being given are quite comprehensive, and they are addressing very in simple manner how we need to try to keep safe from this virus, which is very simple. Try not to get it on us, and if we get it on us, ensure it doesn't go inside any of the soft tissue where it tends to latch on and mutate and proliferate. So the basic guidelines that are being given by the government time after time need to be followed. That includes the hygiene bit, as well as the whole social distancing and reducing our movement outside. It has nothing to do कि बाबा कोई वो like imagine कि there is a cheetah on the loose outside and you are being asked to stay inside. The only problem is you can hear and see a cheetah coming. But in corona, unfortunately, we can't see a virus. And we will never know whether we have become a carrier or not. So, and it being a new virus, there are unknown things about it. So, because see, sometime back there was a dilemma that we don't know whether it is airborne or not.
Yeah.
Slowly, the scientists found a few answers to it. But when there are a lot of unknown factors to this equation, it is better safe to be sorry, right? Safe rather than being sorry. Now coming to the part where there are people who are cured, who have contracted the disease and then have been cured. So yes, there is a very logical explanation from that we derive from our past की एक बार antibodies generate हो गए हैं तो शायद वापस ना हो. But there was one case found in China where after all this time, a person who was initially infected, cured, was infected again. So again, as I said, there are unknown factors here. So let's be safe. Just because we have been cured once does not make us.
And not to fear. मतलब डरना नहीं है. बस अपने को अपना
डरना नहीं है, मगर प्रैक्टिकल रहना है, प्रैक्टिकल रहना है, सेफ रहना है.
करेक्ट
ये भी बराबर है. See, whenever this lockdown lifts, whenever things happen, now this is one of the viruses out there.
Correct.
So walking out and every time there is going to be a question in everybody's mind that okay, यहाँ पे हो सकता है.
सही.
So basic keeping our safety measures is important.
Correct.
And at the same time, now coming to the basic mental health question. I'll split it into two parts. One is mental health, the fear about corona, of
Correct.
getting infected. So fear है बराबर है, मगर at the same time कभी भी डर लगता है तो खुद को पूछो कि हमने ये चीजें follow की है या नहीं है. If we have done it, if we have monitored ourselves and we are not seeing any symptoms, okay, you can ask yourself to be calm.
Yeah.
If you have had some risk factors in your routine, then you need to keep a lookout, right? So हमें completely डर के मारे कोने में भी नहीं बैठना है कि काम भी हम छोड़ दिया और डर के बैठ गए. But at the same time, जो practical precautions है वो लेने हैं. Mental health wise डर लगना बहुत natural है.
Yeah.
So asking yourselves question about, have I done this, have I done that, have I got these symptoms, not got these symptoms, that is always there. If you have symptoms and if you feel कि oh my god, मुझे ये थोड़ा feverish लग रहा है. So one of the common tendencies we have seen is people think कि oh my god, ये test करेंगे और कुछ बड़ा निकला तो क्या, तो वो लोग avoid करते हैं going to the doctor. This is in general, not even only with COVID.
Understood.
We tend to do that.
Tend to do this.
And a lot of times then we don't go to the doctor in time, which is harmful for our own future, because going to the doctor in time is going to help you A, sort your physical issues, and B, it is going to give you information that sorts your mental dilemmas also.
Yeah.
Question आंसर मिल जाता है ना कि भाई नहीं, ये इसका नहीं है, ये नॉर्मल है, या ये एलर्जिक है, या ये ब्लड टेस्ट करके देखो, ये इन्फेक्शन नहीं है, वो इन्फेक्शन. So it is easier to get answers when you go to the right person at the right time.
Correct.
डर के वजह से तुम्हारा ये बिहेवियर अगर अफेक्ट हो गया, द एक्शन प्लान अफेक्ट हो गया, तो it can do you more harm than good. Okay. And then coming down to people who are now indoors and facing that entire dilemma of बाहर जाऊं नहीं जाऊं तो प्रॉब्लम है क्या. A, safety precautions always. B, while you are inside, certain things are not in our control, right? Like corona is not in our control right now.
Yeah.
How it is spreading, what is happening, and what happens when it gets in, we don't know. But what is in our control, we focus on. That is, I think, this is a very layman language I'm trying to explain.
Correct.
हमारे कंट्रोल में क्या है उस पर हम फोकस करेंगे. मैं कोई घर पे बैठ के कुकिंग सीख रहा है, कोई घर पे बैठ के कोर्सेज कर रहा है, कोई घर पे बैठ के काम कर रहा है, कोई घर एंजॉय कर रहा है कि मुझे फैमिली के साथ टाइम मिला है.
Correct.
Some people are thinking about different things that they never really had the time to think. Somebody has taken up exercising, जो इतने वक्त इतने साल जम नहीं रहा था. So try to focus on what you want to do and how you can best utilize the time you have at hand right now. जो कंट्रोल में नहीं उसके बारे में नहीं सोचो.
अच्छा, coming back to your story, you are a co-founder of Palex Healthcare Service, right? So,
Yes.
And just tell how do you decided to start and your journey in this, and when did you started? Just can you highlight about it?
Yeah. So when I got married and moved to Pune, of course I had to find a new job, but before that I was just exploring my neighborhood, and there is a palliative care center like right 10 minutes from my place. Nobody knew about it, and बाहर से समझ में भी नहीं आता है कि अंदर एक बड़ा हॉस्पिटल है. So when I went, I just walked in and I inquired at the gate because it said AIDS and Cancer Foundation. So I went there, and the guy said that, oh, trustee sir aaye hue hai. So I felt ki okay, maybe this is an opportunity. I know that I have not worked in this, but I'm a fresher in a way. So let's check out. After marriage, I was prepared to be a fresh start. So I got the permission. I walked in, and for some reason, he just asked me that, okay, so this is the work we do. What can you bring to the table? And so I started whatever off the top of my head I thought कि this is what I can contribute, this is what we can do in a situation. तो हमने चालू कर दिया कि पेशेंट्स के लिए ये कर सकते हैं, उनके फैमिली मेंबर्स के लिए ये कर सकते हैं, हम ट्रेनिंग कर सकते हैं कि घर पे जाके वो उनकी कैसे देखभाल कर सके, etc etc. And we started working, and he was very happy. It was a very small team, 17-20 लोगों का टीम था, and they were handling a 50-bedded facility. So he was very happy. He said as soon as possible कल से join हो जाओ. तो एकदम immediately कल से तो नहीं join हुई मैं. I took a week off, but I joined, and I was like, I jumped into something totally new. And my medical director, my team, my doctors, all of them were very helpful, and we kind of went on this journey together of trying to see how we can better the experience and life of patients who have been diagnosed of cancer, and who have been told that there is no cure, and are kind of like living out their days, but ऐसा नहीं है ना कि they are still alive and they still have potential to live a very nice life. And we started work. It was a charitable organization. I worked there for around 8 years, and on and off, because शादी हुई, then I went on a pregnancy break, this that, मेरा role भी काफी change हुआ. But palliative care was a cause that I realized I could contribute to, and I was pretty passionate about. And then we start from patient work, supporting their families, going home for home care. Then we started small training workshops for family caregivers to know कि घर पे जाके हम सिंपल है, बेड पर से उठा के चेयर पे बिठाना है तो कैसे करेंगे विदाउट हर्टिंग आवरसेल्व्स. सिंपल एज दैट. सो छोटी छोटी चीजों के लिए वर्कशॉप्स लिए. देन वी स्टार्टेड ट्रेनिंग नर्सेस, बिकॉज अ जनरल नर्स or a general social worker, counselor who is working outside in a different area. कोई गायनाक में काम कर रहा है जहाँ पे babies are born, and this is a totally different end of the spectrum. So we started training for doctors, for nurses, for social workers, even volunteers who help in different organizations.
Agreed.
So then I got into training, and slowly I got into research because there was a lot of data available. And we thought that okay, maybe ये डेटा से हम जो सीख रहे हैं ना वो हम प्रैक्टिस में ला सकते हैं नए पेशेंट्स के लिए. So we started working on that, and so yeah, being young and new to the organization has its challenges in any organization, and people were a little skeptical कि जवानी का जोश है, थोड़ा बहुत कुछ सूझ रहा है, and everything you want to do at once. But yes, they also had a point, so I had to slow down, pace it out. That okay, let us settle this, let us work on this project, break it down. Team needs to be used to a new thing. रिसर्च करना है तो अकेला थोड़ी करते हैं, पूरा टीम को इन्वॉल्व करना है, तो उनको कैसे धीरे धीरे समझाया जाए कि ये डिटेल्स में रिकॉर्ड रखना क्यों जरूरी है, अगर रिकॉर्ड छूट गया तो क्या करना है, ऑल दीस थिंग्स. सो it was a learning process, and I felt it was a very good learning process for me as an individual, as a professional, and that helped. Now coming to Palex, what happened was, this was a charitable institute which was only for cancer patients, and we used to get a lot of inquiries for non-cancer patients as well. And we realized कि Parkinson's है, किसी को dementia है, किसी को kidney failure है, किसी को न्यूरोलॉजिकल इश्यूज है जिसके वजह से मूवमेंट में तकलीफ हो रही है, या बेड रिडन काफी लोग हैं, और सिंपली देयर आर ओल्ड पीपल, लाइक घर में देयर आर पीपल हु आर 90 and 80 while the son is maybe 65 who has to undergo a bypass. So taking care of all this together becomes difficult for any normal family. So two more of my friends and I who have worked in palliative care, one is a doctor, one worked in communication and operations. So we all decided that we need to address this issue beyond cancer as well, because there are a lot of people out there in the society who need this kind of support. And so for a few months we were thinking about it, figuring out, and we found a place. Then we decided कि okay, hospital करते हैं, so that अगर बहुत ज़्यादा symptoms difficult हो जाए manage करने, so they don't have to go to a commercial hospital.
Yeah.
Here the bills are lower, the care that is required, the testing that is required may be lower, because the doctor here is specialized to test in a different way, to look at things in a different way. So we got together and we opened this 24-bedded hospital, like a registered hospital, but we call it a palliative care center, which caters to this kind of a crowd. And there we have a physiotherapist, dietitian, counselor. We have recently started music therapy, OPD as well. We do group sessions as well there. Pediatricians, we have orthopedics who are attached. So what happens is, one person who comes there, suppose there is a senior person or a senior patient who comes there, he gets all his checkups and all his consultations in one place. So that person doesn't have to roam around at 3 different hospitals or 3 different places. And that helps save energy, save their own resources. And that is how this palliative care center started. Now we complete around more than a year ago. Last year we started in January 2019. And now we have OPDs across the city in Pune. 3 OPDs in 2 different hospitals, 1 old age assisted living facility. And we see that people do require this support.
That was very informative, Nandini, and actually you almost answered my question, which I was going to ask next, that do you keep on constant research? क्या आप constant research करते रहते हो? But you already answered that question. And actually we are end of the session of the interview, so there is one very important question, and which is why it is inspiring that you started this after your marriage and having a kid, and you are still doing it. So that is a very good thing. And one of our audience has also asked you that how did you manage this after having a marriage and after having a kid? So can you also tell her that how you are managing this?
Okay, yeah. So this is I'll try to keep it short. The thing is, even after marriage or when my marriage was decided, I was very clear that I was going to work, because I had taken efforts to train myself. I have taken efforts to choose what I like. So having that clarity to ourselves is very important, that we want to work. So with that orientation, my husband, my in-laws, they were also oriented. They were prepared that okay, she's going to work. And ठीक है, घर भी संभाल लेगी, संभाला तो नहीं संभाल, देखते क्या करते हैं. My husband was very supportive. He was very straightforward कि see, it's a 2-partner deal. It's not like, and I also never looked at him as he is supposed to just support financially and everything is on him. I was like, no, there also you are independent. So both of you are partners in both areas. You are just because you're a girl, घर काम खुद करोगे और finance दूसरा देखेगा. If you want him to help out in your housework, you also need to support his role. So that was there. Overall, yes, it has been a struggle, but I have got this support from my family. My parents moved to Pune just to ensure that, when I was at work, my kid is taken care of. And slowly, of course, working towards, there are sacrifices. There are times when you have to put your work first, and there are times when you have to put your family and housework home first. Balance is that way. Balance does not mean both have to be balanced at the same time. There are times when this needs priority. There are times when this needs priority. And looking at that is important. And as for Palex, my team is a very supportive team. So despite the fact that, currently I'm also pursuing my PhD, and they know that I am at the end of it where I need to sit down and do my writing and do my online vivas and I do my presentations. So there are times when they cover for me also. They are like, okay, right now we'll cover at the hospital. You don't need to come in full time. We'll do this bit. So finding that support system around you is very important. And as for my kid, I was always very clear about sharing my honest time with her. So she knows what work I do. She has seen my workplace. She knows what is to be done when mom को मैं disturb कर सकती हूँ, मैं नहीं कर सकती हूँ. She knows I'm studying. She knows why I'm doing that. So she has her dreams, but she also keeping my guilt aside of being that typical Indian woman of ये भी करना ही चाहिए, वही करना ही चाहिए. I have had my guilty points, but there are times when I have to put that aside and focus on what I wanted to achieve. So keeping that focus is very important. Does not mean that you are disregarding or not paying attention to the other people in your
Correct.
life. So that's
See,
and it's done.
that is why I introduced you as a hashtag woman empowerment, hashtag self-made woman, hashtag a new hashtag Atmanirbhar woman, Atmanirbhar girl. So I think this would be very insightful for all those girls who want to pursue their career even after marriage and even after having kids. Now, taking on the last question for our session today is that last takeaway point which you want to share to our audience, and after that we can end this interview. So any takeaway points which you like to tell? And yeah, before we end this interview, I would just like to tell that if we have missed any of the question in this interview, you can ask Nandini directly. You can connect me or you can connect Nandini from our Instagram profile. You can visit her from my page, which is Success Stories, and there you can find Nandini and you can ask her. I know that she is very helpful and she will readily agree to that. Yeah, Nandini, again, your last view, last takeaway points for our audience.
Yeah, so I think there are two. One, I would say, if you are going through something which you feel is really become too difficult for you to take in or tolerate, please reach out to the right source, to the right support. Don't be shy or don't be afraid of reaching out. It is important to move ahead in life that you reach out, talk about it and sort things through. That is very important. And second, from the whole empowerment point of view, may it be a man or a woman, if you know what you want, working towards it, no matter what is important. So you work hard towards it, achieving. Sometimes you achieve everything, sometimes you achieve more, sometimes you may achieve less. But working towards this is important. So taking that effort is always there. And I believe everyone here has really asked very nice questions and been involved with this session. I thank Kaushal for inviting me to Success Stories. And guys, please do follow Success Stories for more inspiring people and interviews and stories. And I'm sure I'm going to follow, and I am going to be inspired by all the lovely people Kaushal and Hardik bring on to this platform.
Thank you, Nandini, and thank you guys for joining us today. We'll again meet you with a very inspiring story in coming days. We'll let you know. And again, thank you, Nandini, for giving your time to us and Success Stories. Thank you.